Hello students, a very good morning and warm welcome to all of you in my class. Students, as you know that I have started the anatomy in flowering plants. That means the internal organization in the plants. So when we cut the section, we will see that if we take the transverse section of any stem, root or leaf, we will see number of tissues, number of cells are present there. A group of cells are called tissue. So if we see with the electron microscope, with the help of compound microscope, we can observe those structures. And I explained you in the previous classes also that the tissues are of different types. Some are meristematic and some are permanent. And meristematic means the cells which undergo division. These cells are juvenile cells, young cells, and they always undergo division in the plant cell. And the meristematic cell again undergo division and it sometimes forms permanent cells. And about permanent tissues, we have discussed that there are two types of permanent cells: simple permanent and complex permanent tissues. Complex, or you can say compound permanent tissues. In the simple permanent tissues, we discussed the structure of parenchyma, collenchyma and sclerenchyma. And I hope all of you understood that topic. And today we are going to talk about the compound permanent tissue, or you can say complex permanent tissue. And in this class I am going to discuss the structure and function of xylem. So let's see the structure of xylem. So today in this class we are going to discuss about the structure and function of xylem. So let's see what is xylem. Actually, the xylem, this is a Greek word, and this word, the Greek word, it came from xylon, or you can say xylos. That means the meaning of xylon is wood. So if both the words, the wood and the xylem, is synonyms for each other. So if I say wood, that means xylem, or if I say xylem, that means wood. And in the plant body, this xylem is placed in the inner side, and the phloem is placed towards outer side. So xylem and phloem, these two are complex permanent tissues. In the last class also we discussed about this, that the permanent tissues are of two types: simple permanent and complex permanent. Simple permanent is again categorized into, according to their structure and functions, they are categorized into three types, that is parenchyma, collenchyma and sclerenchyma. And the complex permanent tissue is divided into two types, that is xylem and phloem. These two are also known as conducting tissues, and they are found in vascular, they are also called as vascular tissue. Why these are called conducting tissues? Because xylem helps in conduction of water. The water which is absorbed by root hairs from the soil. Roots are present in the soil and root hairs absorb water. So the water which is absorbed by the root hairs, this water is conducted to the other parts of the plant. That means the water goes to the leaf, the water goes to the fruit, flower, buds, so other branches. So this is conducted with the help of the xylem tissue. And the second one is phloem. It is also a complex permanent tissue and it is also a conducting tissue. What the function of phloem is conduction of food material. So the glucose or other metabolic substances which is synthesized, the photosynthesis occur in which part of the plant body? In the leaf. Because leaves, in the mesophills of leaves, chlorophyll is present, and this chlorophyll traps sunlight, and there the photosynthesis occur. So and after that, what is in the photosynthesis? What happens? Food is prepared. So the food which is prepared in the leaves, the food is conducted to the other parts of the body, to the plant parts of the body with the help of this phloem. So these two tissues are complex tissues which are called as conducting tissue. So today we will see the structure of xylem, structure and function of xylem. I told you that it is derived from the Greek word xylos, which means wood, and if we see, xylem is one of the two types of transport tissue. It helps in conduction, it helps in transport tissue in vascular plants. So it is present in the vascular plants, the plants which is having vascular body. So algae, fungi and the bryophyta, they do not have vascular tissue system. From the pteridophyta vascular tissue system is found. So these tracheary elements, these are also known as tracheary elements. So these are found in the pteridophyta, in gymnosperm and in angiosperm. And in dicot, in angiosperm again, in dicot and monocot we can see this structure. So xylem is one of the two types of transport tissue in vascular plants. And the main function of conduction of water and minerals from the root to the rest of the plant's body. So root is taking water and mineral from the soil, and that is conducted to the other parts of the plant body with the help of xylem. And additional function, it provides mechanical support. Xylem, in the xylem, sclerenchyma tissue are present, xylem fibers are present, which gives mechanical support, that we will see. And the xylem, if we see the structure of xylem has four xylary elements, because as it is a complex, or you can say compound tissue, so the structure is made up of little complex type. That means they are made up of different type of cells. And these different type of cells together, it is called elements. So these elements are of four types. In xylem we will see four types of elements. First one is tracheids, second is vessels, and third xylem fibers, and fourth is xylem parenchyma. So first one, xylem tracheids. What are these tracheids? We will see, but before that just give a look on this diagram. Here it is xylem and fluid, present primary xylem and secondary xylem. So this is primary xylem. This part which is inner side, and this part is called secondary xylem, which is formed after secondary growth. So you can observe that xylem is present in the inner side of the root or stem or any leaf. So this is present in the inner portion of the plant body. Now next, if we see xylem tracheids. What are these tracheids? Actually, these are elongated structure. These are elongated structure like this with pointed ends, or we can say tapering ends. The ends are tapering ends. And these are pits. These are elongated structure. So let's see, tracheids are long cells with a tapered end, and these are primitive tissue. Why primitive? Number one, here I will write again one point, primitive tissue. These are primitive cells. We can write this point here also, and it is present in 95% in gymnosperms, 95% in gymnosperms, and 5% it is seen in angiosperms. So tracheids are found generally in gymnosperm and pteridophyta. These are present, but these are primitive cells, so present in pteridophyta and gymnosperm in 95% we can observe, and in angiosperm 5% of tracheids are present. And these are long elongated structures with tapering ends. Average length is 5 or 6 mm, and they are the fundamental cell type in xylem. Fundamental because they do some fundamental structures and having some functions. They are non-living at maturity. Inside the cell, protoplast is dead. So these are called non-living. And nucleus is also not found, because there are no the requirement of cell division. They do not undergo any division, any nuclear division or cell division. So both the structure, the protoplast and the nucleus, is not present. So mature cells, at the maturity, the cells are empty and without protoplast, contain secondary cell wall. Secondaries with the primary cell wall, they are having secondary wall layer also, and these secondary cell walls are highly lignified. These are made up of lignin, and major portion of the cell wall of tracheids are perforated. Perforated means, see, these are wall, this wall is made, here also you can see these are walls, and this is lumen, but lumen is not complete, it is obstructed. So this part is lumen, and if you observe this, this is the cell wall, and cell wall is made up of lignin. Highly lignified means it is made up of lignin, and lignin, as you know, it is impervious to water and other substances. So what impervious, it is not impermeable. So what happens to flow of water occurs? How? Because the inner wall layer is having thickenings, and these thickenings are of different types, we will see. And what are these pits like structures are present? Pits are where the thickening is not present. At some places thickening is not there. Those places are having pore like structure or a small hole like structure. So that part is called pit. And through these pits, because these pits are present in pairs. So suppose this side a pit is present, and here also this is one trachea, and here one pit is present. Again one trachea is placed here, because they are present in groups. So when trachea is present here, and this side also pits are having present in pairs. That means if this side pit is there, this side also pit is there. So from these pits, water flow towards the upper direction. So I hope you understood. Major portion of the cell wall of tracheids are perforated. Perforation means opening. Small pore-like structures are known as pits, where the cell wall thickening is not present. That portion is called pit. Torus of pit act as walls. These pits have two types actually. One is with bordered, and one is simple pit. Simple pit without having any border, and the second different pit is bordered pit is there, which is having a border. Patterns of secondary thickenings in tracheids. Okay, when we discussed about the wall material, because it is elongated structure, as we have seen this structure, it is elongated type, and thus this is cell wall, secondary cell wall is present. This is elongated structure, and with the tapering ends. Here the inner wall layer is deposited with some material. So the secondary cell wall material are laid down on the lateral walls of the tracheids. So on the lateral walls, on the parallel walls, secondary cell wall material is laid down. That means it is deposited with the wall material, and the tracheids in specific pattern. In the tracheids, the wall material is present on the inner walls only, and these are on different patterns. These deposition is of different patterns. The most common patterns are the following type. One type is this deposition if we observe, it is annular type. Annular means ring like structure, like this, in a ring form, or we can say ring like thickenings, but the technical term which is given, it is annular thickening. And the second type is spiral. Spiral, see, ring means like this. This one ring is here, one ring is like this. So this is annular type. And when I say spiral thickening, spiral means like a spring. It is coiled like a spring. That is called spiral thickening, second one. And pitted. Pitted means, I explained you, small pores or holes are present. that is called pitted like structure. If on the walls small pores are present, that is pitted. Scalariform thickening. Scalariform means ladder-like in this manner, ladder-like. And the fifth one is that we are talking about the thickening of the inner wall layer. So again one more thickening is reticulate. Reticulate means it is forming net-like structure like this manner. In this manner net-like structure is formed. So this is called reticulate. So these type of thickenings patterns, there are many, but the important type we can observe, that is 5 types. Now see the structure of vessel. So I think you understood this, that these xylem tracheids are present in a row like in this manner. These are present, and this is one pit, and parallel to this another pit is there. So similarly this side also, here also a pit. So flow of water in this manner, these tracheids are arranged, and the flow of water occurs like in this manner. But see, very narrow type. It is very narrow because of small holes. These pits are called small holes, and there is no other perforation we find in tracheids. The flow of water is not so efficient, we can say, and so not much flow of water is taking place through the tracheids. So these tracheids are present only in gymnosperm and angiosperm, gymnosperms and pteridophytes. But angiosperms are very big trees, and they are vast and expanded also. So for the angiosperm, the tracheids cannot supply much water. So in the angiosperm, we will find some bigger level, some broad level of tube-like structure, that is called vessel. So these are vessels. Vessels are tube-like, and these are known as column-like structure. So you can observe here, it is more efficient in supplying the water than the tracheids. So let's see what is vessel. It is also called trachea. It is known as, the another name for vessel is trachea, and diameter up to 100 mm. 100 mm diameter, so is it broader, and it is column-like. I can write here, it is column-like structure, column-like or tube-like structures. So, and component of vessels are called vessel elements. Vessel elements are wider, shorter, and less tapered than tracheids. So these are, see, vessel elements are tube-like cells. These are vessel elements which are arranged in a tube-like manner, in a column-like manner, and they are attached to one another. These tubes are attached to one another, and there is an opening towards the end walls, towards the upper walls. There is no septa. No septa is present, or if septa is there, dissolution of septa happens. So completely open columns are present. So these columns are attached to one another. Suppose this is one column, and this is perforation, and again this is one column, tube-like structure, it is having perforation. So again this is one column, vessel, and this is also having perforation. So all these walls are without septa, and they are having perforations, and through this perforation, what happens? Water flows towards the upper direction. So vessels are broader in structure, longer in structure, having more perforation, and it can easily supply the water. Vessel elements are tube-like. Cells are non-living at maturity. Of course, like tracheids, vessels are non-living, not present. Protoplast is absent. Nucleus is also absent. Cells are devoid of protoplast at maturity. So cells are arranged as series in end to end, that I draw the diagram I explained you. So these are, see, these are the vessels, and here is one perforation, and here is one perforation, and here you can observe these perforation, simple perforation or multiple perforation we can say. So a single hole is present or multiple holes are present, and this is known as perforation plate. So if one hole is present, it is called simple perforation. If more than one hole is present, it is called multiple perforation, and through this perforation the water flows towards the upward direction, and these vessels are attached one to another and having a big lumen with secondary wall thickening is less. So lumen is broader than the tracheids, whereas in the tracheids we have observed, suppose this is the structure of, if we cut the section in the transverse, this is vessel, and here this is wall layer. So here large lumen we can observe in vessel, whereas in tracheids it is narrow, very narrow, because wall thickening is much. Due to much wall thickenings, this becomes narrow. This is tracheid. See, vessel has numerous pits present in the lateral walls for communication. Vessels also have pits. They also have pores like structure, holes like structure on its lateral walls, on the side walls for communication, for the flow of water. It has openings in each vessel, end walls